In-game live on a Wednesday night. It's Kevin Walsh and it's Gabriel Morency here on SportsGrid with the main event, no doubt, the NHL postseason as the Montreal Canadiens look to take one back at home against the Carolina Hurricanes. We will cover the full live board, a ton of Major League Baseball out and running right now with some WNBA games about to begin, already off the board. Starting later tonight here. We've got quite a few items on the plate tonight, Gabe. None bigger, though, than Montreal versus Carolina.
No, you're right. We've got a bunch of WNBA games this evening. Obviously, some betting opportunities tonight. I look forward to seeing what you came up with. Shohei Ohtani on the hill tonight against the Colorado Rockies. And a big-time hockey game tonight, especially for the Montreal Canadiens that are down 2-1 in the series. Carolina are starting to dial things up. They've been pretty dominant as far as shots on goal have been concerned over the last couple of games, Kevin. And Montreal, despite the pregame pageantry, as good as it is, and nobody does a pregame introduction better and ceremony better than the Montreal Canadiens do, it backfires. All right, it backfires on them, and they're actually 2-5 on home ice, Kevin. Hard to believe. They're 2-5 on home ice during the playoffs. You can't go 2-6. You can't be 2-6 on home ice and expect to win, a Stanley Cup. This is the line in the sand game tonight for the Canadiens. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Kevin, and I don't know how you feel about, trade swag, birthday swag, baby born swag when it comes to props and players. But the Canadiens goaltender, Jakub Dobeš, it's his 25th birthday tonight, Kevin. All right? And we all know how hot this guy's been in the playoffs, although he's been much better on the road. He's been better on the road as well. He's got like a .922 save percentage on the road and an .892 save percentage at home. The power play for the Canadiens, much better on the road, has been at home. The Canadiens as a whole have not been good enough at home in the postseason, but I want to throw it out there. It's the Canadiens goalie's birthday today.
I think you'll take any edge you can get, right, Gabe, when you're going up against a team that entered in the level of favorite that Carolina did. Why not get a little bit of a boost? You're right to point out the way home ice has not been the end-all be here. I probably should mention last night the season-long favorites to win the Cup, unfortunately, were too good. In that this President's Trophy, I think curse is maybe a little bit strong, but having the best record, being the best team, does not mean you're going to win. And that was the case for Colorado, who lost again last night. And it is one thing to, hey, we lost in the conference finals. It is another thing to be swept playing all 4 games as a favorite. That is... you mentioned the Cale Makar injury, this, that, and what have you. This is a team who had a 3-0 lead in Game 3 to, I think, grab back a lot of the momentum in the series. And I should have known, and I didn't lose a lot on it, but I should have known, if you're up 3-0 with essentially your season on the line and give up 5 straight goals, you don't have it. And Colorado didn't have it, Gabe. And I think what that means is either Carolina probably enters as the favorite over Vegas, and I don't think any Montreal Canadiens fan is going to go into a series with Las Vegas thinking they're drawing dead. And they probably would have been excited about their chances against Colorado, Gabe, but listen, at the end of the day, the Avs were who they were. It opens the field now.
It does, and I'll tell you what, if you're subconsciously, it's almost like, oh, wow, Colorado are out, but yeah, so what? They're not as good as Vegas are right now. And if you're Carolina or Montreal, Kevin, it's not a good matchup for you against this Vegas Golden Knight team right now. The Vegas Golden Knights they've got it all. Like, they play just a perfect playoff style of hockey. They're very, very big. The Canadiens and Canes are both speed-based teams, but you are correct. The updated number right now is the Canes are like plus 100 to win the Stanley Cup. Vegas are plus 120. And the Canadiens are now 9-1. And I like what the Canadiens coach said. Martin St. Louis, who is a Stanley Cup champion as a player, who said, we're not dead yet. We're down, but not dead. That was his quote. So, like, it's 2-1. We're down. We're not dead. And what I like about the birthday stuff is, listen, whether it's someone's birthday or not doesn't mean that a team is going to win or lose their game. But what I like is it loosens things up, right? Dobish actually visited a local bakery that made a special cookie for him and stuff. And it just sort of goes to show that they're not in some sort of panic mode because it's 2-1, right? Fans get in a panic mode. Media get in a panic mode. Bettors get in a panic mode. Players, not so much, right? It's a 2-1 series. These guys just played 2 7-game series, Kevin. They're down 1 right now, but they hadn't lost 2 in a row. So they've lost 2 in a row, albeit both in overtime, right? Both in overtime. So tonight's a series on the line. Put it this way. Montreal wins this game tonight. Carolina probably still wins this series. Carolina wins this game tonight. Carolina finishes the series like on Friday, and it's game, set, match, and we get ready for a Sun Belt Stanley Cup final. But I'll tell you what, Kevin, I can't pass up the Canadiana Montreal plus 130 tonight on home ice. That's a nice price. And, dude, it's been unbelievable. The Canadians have played 17 playoff games, Kevin. Over 1.5 in the first period is 15-2.
Woo!
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm
That's
waiting.
loud. Yeah.
I want to play the under. The odds makers made this game 5.5. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, and the last 2 games have gone 3-2.
9 of 11 Carolina games have gone under 5.5 in this postseason. So that's also a very loud number.
For betting purposes, I almost think, early goals, jump in on the in-game under. If it hits 6.5, God forbid 7.5. But I did play tonight, guys, the Montreal Canadiens to score a goal in the first 10 minutes of the game at plus 185. I like that. Just sort of, I do think they're going to come out hot tonight. They've been so flat at home. It's time to freaking bring it. It's time to bring it tonight. And I know you want to get to the WNBA. Give me the tempo plus the 5, Kevin. I'm an all-homer pick tonight. Canadians, tempo, Dodgers. Give me the tempo plus 5. And give me my girl Kiki Rice over 11.5 points. Came down from 12.5 to 11.5. Let's rock.
That tempo game did just tip off. They're on the road against the Chicago Sky, who have hit a bit of a skid since the injury to Rickea Jackson. That really might alter their season here. They've lost 2 straight, both at home. It's a 3rd straight home game, so we'll see. But we've talked about the ability for road dogs to cover in this sport. We'll see how it looks tonight. The Mercury are going to give that a go right now. They're up at half on the Liberty, 43-42. We'll get you in-game numbers there as well. I'll also bring up the crew picks here. Look, again, different rhythm on In-Game Live. These guys are betting the big game tonight on the hockey board. Can't blame them. Chris is on the first period over that you had mentioned, Gabe, for a best bet here. So clearly knows the trends. And then Anderson's under saves for Sam. That's a 20.5 number at minus 130. There, AJ tonight with a Rockies-Dodgers under 7.5. I'm on that game as well, the same exact direction. We'll get a couple of Ohtani stats on the board here. But, Gabe, and I know we're going to talk to McKinnis in our next segment. We're going to rapid-fire all of his picks. But just, if you want to rapid-fire, let everybody know, because the game's going to, that puck's going to drop, what you're on for Montreal and Carolina.
We're going to take the Canadians at plus 130. We're going to take the Canadians to score. Not will there be a goal scored in the first 10 minutes. Has to be Montreal that scores in the first 10 minutes. We get this at a nice plus 185 in this game. And the theme has been, and we've seen this in Canadians games in the playoff, guys, where there will be early goals. Even in Carolina games, there'll be early goals, and then the game still end up going under the number. This is one of these beautiful live in-game betting games, Kevin. Hopefully the Canadians score early. It pops up to 6.5, and I jump in on the under.
Andrew McKinnis is going to join us after a break here. Continue to talk about Montreal versus Carolina on SportsGrid.
The UIM Formula One World Championship Series. We are over the moon excited about the upcoming season.
Let's go.
10,000 horsepower roars off the dock. Oh my, there's a problem. On the outside, side by side.
And he's lost control of the boat.
Hopes and dreams of winning here.
Yes!
Get ready for round one, the Regione Sardegna Grand Prix of Italy, May 29th to 31st.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
In-game live. Let's get the rest of these picks on the board for Montreal against Carolina before Gabe and McKinnis start debating the credentials of a bunch of Canadians.
I just want to
Gabe, he's never going to get his picks off. He's never going to get his picks off. Yeah,
down.
Let him get the picks off, and then we'll do whatever you want, all right?
Yeah,
Andrew McKinnis is here, great hockey bettor, has been following this postseason as close as anybody. McKinnis, we appreciate you making some time. What do you like here in game number 4?
It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys, and I'll tell you, the Habs have a good record when I talk to Gabe on game day. So although we're having a debate right now, they do well when Gabe and I chat. Look, the first period over, it seems like a popular one, but I'm with it. And I'll tell you, I don't mind this one's a little bit chalky here, guys, but I took minus 140 on the Habs to score in the first period. And I saw Gabe tweet something out about the first 10 minutes even. 15 of their 17 games this postseason, they've gone on the board in the first period. And the funny thing is, a lot of the time, it's actually been the second goal and not the first goal. This team needs a good start tonight. I feel like they will get that. And as you guys talked about, when we take a look at this team and the series overall, we've seen a lot of first period overs where the games end up going under the number, back to Buffalo, back to Tampa. So the first period doesn't always correlate there with the full entire game. I will sprinkle on the Habs here, but I do think regardless of what happens tonight, I think this series comes back to Montreal. If they lose tonight, you're going to get a wicked, wicked price on the Canadians when they go to Carolina. Let's not forget, this team's been a hell of a better hockey team on the road than they have been at home, 2-5 at home. Guys, Demidov is now minus 120 for a point. Last game, he was about plus 100, minus 110. The top guys have to get going, but until they do, I'll take that fourth option. You know, they feel like we're picking wide receivers here to have a good night in the NFL. We're going to take the kind of the third, fourth guy here. Demidov plays in all the power plays. He's out there with Newhook, out there with Evans in the second line opportunities. He's the future of the team offensively. He had an assist on the first goal in the last game. I like Demidov to play well. Slavkovsky to get an assist, plus 115. Underrated playmaker. I think he will get a pass on the power play or 5-on-5. He will contribute. And I can't forget about the Hurricanes. Over 2.5 shots for Logan Stankoven. Most underrated player still left in the postseason. We'll take Stankoven over 2.5 shots on goal. And last but not least, block shots. Alexandre Carrier from the Montreal Canadiens over 1.5 block shots. That's minus 145. It's worth it if you know how much he's been hitting this pick.
And how many shots the Carolina Hurricanes take too, right, Andrew? Attempts at least. We saw the other night. Canadians had 22 block shots, guys, through 2 periods the other night. Right? And that was another thing, too, with the shots on goal deception a little bit the other night. The Canadians, McInnes, did take shots. They just weren't getting through, right? Carolina do a great job of blocking lanes up and clogging in front of the net. A lot of pucks just don't get through. What do you think about the goaltending props tonight on what is Dobish's birthday tonight? It's a trendy pick. Dobish oversaves this evening.
Yes, Bonafide to Jakub Dobish. I look at this one here, and I'm thinking, how much better can this guy play, Gabe? It's like, yeah, it's his birthday, but the guy's already been kicking ass. It's like,
but he hasn't been good at home. He hasn't been as good at home. His save percentage, 8.92 at home compared to like 9.20 on the road.
That is true. I'll tell you, I had a phenomenal time in Montreal despite the loss, and getting to be there. I'm going to say, if there's one opinion people are going to call me biased for, and I don't care, I don't think Frederik Andersen is that good of a goaltender. I think he plays in front of a damn good team or behind. I think you get shots on him, like in game one, he's going to let in some softies. You got to get shots. And I know it's the most cliche thing in hockey because there were opportunities, Gabe. You just said it yourself. I promise you, they could have had 16, 17, 18 shots. They made the extra pass.
Well, like you said, too.
Suzuki on the breakaway, he missed the net. Like, they could have had more shots.
And to put in context, Kevin, too, and they just dropped the puck. Yeah, the Canadians have lost 2 games in a row, and they got outshot by like 40 shots in it and stuff. And here's Carolina right away. There's always chaos early in these games. But the Canadians actually took the lead in the game and were offside by like, literally inches on an offside that really like didn't affect the play. So imagine, Kevin, like a touchdown being nullified because, somebody jumped like way somewhere else, had nothing to do with anything. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like anyone was cherry picking and, he was offside. That's how he got the puck. But Cole Caulfield, you were there, McInnes. You saw he was stick handling and just got a little bit ahead of himself, right? But he was offside. Split second. And in the old days with no review, that's a goal. But you review it, it's like soccer. You slow it down to the millisecond. It's like, yeah, he's offside.
Man, and I've been dreaming of being a part of a crowd pop like that, Kevin and Gabe. It was so awesome. And then
and it got taken away from me.
It's a library. Yeah, 2 minutes later. But I got to ask you guys this. Like, look, again, everybody knows I'm a Habs fan and stuff. But when you look at the last 2 score lines, 3-2, and Gabe, I've talked with you about this before. Since when did goaltenders stop counting as one of your good players? You look back with Carey Price. You look now with Jakub Dobish. I love people said you only beat Tampa in 7 because of Dobish. You only beat the Buffalo Sabres because of this, or you only did this. Well, thank God he's on the team, right? And you look at these 2 scores, they're both 3-2. So if we talk about actual facts, everyone wants to say how much Carolina dominated the last 2 games. They have 4 regulation goals in the last 2 games. If that's dominance, I don't know what dominance is. Last time I checked, you don't win games by having more shots on goal.
You guys are wild, though, because when the U.S. beat Canada, all I heard is about how Canada smoked the U.S. in that game. Like, come
Kevin,
on. Like,
you guys
I get it, but like, I know what the scores are right. And by the way, Carolina's also winning those games. Carolina is outshooting them and then winning the game. It does. Dobish has 4 saves a minute into the game. That's not good. Like, you want to apply some of the pressure, right?
His birthday prop and he over for save.
But Kevin, I gotta say, when the difference is though, is that USA fans were happy that they won, but you weren't acting like you won the game 6-2. You know you won in overtime, and that is what it is. Right. Hellebuck won the game. The difference is the Hurricanes fans act like they're winning every game by 10 goals.
Don't worry about the 6 Hurricane fans in this world. USA and Canada are playing again tomorrow.
Thank you.
The UIM Formula One World Championship Series. We are over the moon excited about the upcoming season. Let's go.
10,000 horsepower roars off the dock.
Oh my, there's a problem.
On the outside, side by side. And he's lost control of the book.
Hopes and dreams of winning here.
Yes!
Get ready for round one, the Regione Sardegna Grand Prix of Italy, May 29th to 31st.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, it is in-game live, and before you know it, we are going to be quite heavily covering the World Cup here on this show, and we are continuing to get ready with the help of Marcelino Ortiz. Marcelino, it has been a lot of fun to continue to get ready. These rosters are out, and the U.S. men's national team roster has come out. A couple of eyebrows raised. What stood out to you with the 26 names selected?
My friends, this is the moment of truth. We are looking at the final rosters for the U.S. The World Cup is around the corner. And one thing that really stands out is, like we said last time I was here, Diego Luna not being on the final roster for the U.S. national men's team. This, for me, is short of a travesty, my friends. I'm very upset at Pochettino. I feel like this is one of the biggest mistakes that he can do right before of the World Cup. Diego Luna played 17 out of 18 possible games in the road to the World Cup. He scored goals after breaking his nose in a game, coming back into the field and showing what playing for the Stripes means. I feel like Diego Luna not only had become publicly the face of the team by being on countless commercials, and by just the nature of how this was announced, I feel like it's disingenuous, it's inconsistent, and is, for me, a bad omen for the U.S. team. Now, they have a stacked roster. We can see at the names that they brought, clearly Alejandro Sendejas, which is the player that come in and kicked Diego Luna out of the roster, is a very, very skilled, multifunction forward player that can play any position up top. So I can understand this in the cold of the facts, in the coldness of the reality of the team. But then coming out and boasting on the fact that you didn't even call the people that you didn't bring into the team, and immediately got shown by Jesse Marsh, the Canada coach, saying that he actually had 55 personal conversations with everyone involved before announcing the World Cup roster. For me, this is the very first announcement of bad management for the U.S. national team. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope they have a deep run. But I don't think this sits well inside the team because he was a very popular and very, very important part of the U.S. team.
Such a passionate player for the program, as you stated, right? And in an era which the lack of pride or passion's been called out recently in the past, he was one player that, like you said, would run through the wall for the program.
That's right.
He would run through the wall for the program, and then he gets an email.
An email.
Sorry.
That's it.
Sorry, you didn't make it.
Sorry, like your application was not accepted for the World Cup.
Like
Thank you
said,
for
Jesse
your
Marsh. And you know, and he said, not Marsh, but they said, well, we're not here to hold people's hands. You know, we got to tell them if they made the team or not. Just imagine, Kevin. No, like if you didn't make team, wouldn't you want to hear from the coach? Yeah, listen, this is why you didn't make it. This is what you got to work on. You know, we got a future for you in the program, or, you know, be told, why didn't you make it? Jesse Marsh is a class act, and he did that, Marcelino. Called every player that made the team and didn't make the team and said, this is why.
I think that if you ask me, Jesse Marsh was the right choice for the U.S. national team. They dropped the bag with that.
No. We're glad to have him. We're glad to have him.
I mean, you know, Jesse Marsh is great. I think that you're very happy. You're very happy with it. You will have a great World Cup. But in the U.S., I think they flounder that. Pochettino, to be honest, is, if at all, a mediocre manager. He has not had the success in any of the teams that he has been at the helm. I don't believe this is the case. I feel like Pochettino will be back in Europe 3 months later after the end of the World Cup, and he will forget about U.S. soccer, and U.S. soccer will be stuck with the bill. Unfortunately, this is what we're going to face, and we'll see the results on the pitch. I'm excited to see if this doesn't come out to be a disaster for the U.S. Just one player can make such a difference.
Wow,
Marcelino, I just wanted to ask. Listen,
it.
He's telling it like it is. But Marcelino, I just wanted to get an idea how the quality in the roster stacks up over the 4-year gap. Like, in theory, this should still be one of, if not the most talented rosters they've sent to the World Cup, right?
Without a doubt. What we're looking at is the top players in the world minus Diego Luna. We have players that really have made a difference in the long time. We have Serginho Dest. We have Pulisic himself, a player that is the most, the Captain America. He's the face and heart and soul of the team. He's the best player. And the reality is that he decided to skip the last 5 competitive games of the team. So although we have a stacked team with players in Europe like never before, that don't necessarily translate to success. I feel like having a team that understands, like we were saying last time, players that know how to deal with the heat, players that know how to deal with the conditions, right? And Diego Luna was one of them.
Marcelino, we appreciate it as always. We'll be right back here on right, in-game live, we're rolling here on a Wednesday night. I did actually play a bet live. Look, we had a lot of great guests stop by. It's off and running right now. At halftime, Breanna Stewart only had 2 points. I took her to get to 10 with the Liberty money line, trailing by 1. They have tied the game at 55-55. Stewie's up to 6, so we'll take our chances there.
As struggling Liberty. A struggling Liberty team.
You want to talk about... I didn't understand the Liberty being booked as favorites over Vegas when, coming into the season really at all. Vegas has all the pedigree, all the talent, all the continuity. I understand the Liberty added Satu Sabale, but I think the numbers haven't changed, right? The Liberty, when they're healthy and they're right, I think they're going to offer up a very high ceiling. But I don't know why they are still sitting, almost $2 in front of Las Vegas or the Atlanta Dream, for that matter. And here's the one thing, people care about the Liberty. And this is going to get loud. And I've seen some people be like, yeah, they hired a guy who doesn't know anything about the WNBA. And Sandy Brondello and the Tempo, Gabe, have had some fantastic victories. You know this, obviously, huge, near double-digit dog
right now.
upset. Right.
End up a 6 spot right now.
The Liberty keep ending up on the wrong side of those results. They keep losing to this Portland Fire team here. There's some early season pressure mounting on this New York group, I believe.
You are right as far as an important team, obviously, in the WNBA landscape, but a very popular team as well. I mean, season ticket holders, a rabid fan base.
They packed that Barclays Center.
They got the championship, right? They got their chip, but they also banked like they're an older team. You know the WNBA.
Yeah.
And is it just me or Sabrina just always hurt? Because she's not old per se, right? But she's always hurt.
I'm not surprised that she's out. She was hurt.
She was
injured coming into the season.
She's a constant game time decision. She's a constant. Oh, is she playing or not? Today was a game time decision, wasn't it? She was going to play, maybe she wasn't. And so that's what I'm saying. Sabrina, it's been a couple of years of this now with her. Breanna Stewart's not getting any younger. They ran their coach out of town for whatever reason, which not everybody in the room agreed with. And now you see the success the Tempo are having early. So you're right. That's why I stayed away from them tonight. It crossed my mind. I was like, you know what? Liberty are due. Come on. They got to win this game tonight. And maybe I'll parlay them with the Portland Fire tonight. A little money line parlay. I was like, I can't do that. I'll do the Dodger Portland Fire money line parlay. There's a DGen play tonight, Kevin. Dodgers and WNBA parlay.
I'll tell you what, that is a DGen
It's against
special.
Connecticut, bro. Connecticut's only won once this year, as you know, and I called it that night. But, dude, that was just a perfect spot against Seattle that night.
And it was by
This is not a perfect spot. Yeah, and this is not a perfect spot tonight against Portland. This Portland team is good. They're like the Tempo. Kevin, these expansion teams are good in the WNBA. We saw San Francisco last year, and we're seeing Toronto and Portland both cash tickets this year.
I think there's a lot of parity right now in the W. I think, for my money, the two best teams are the Dream in Las Vegas, but it's an open league right now. This Golden State team is good. The Fever are really solid. The Wings have their moments. But the Wings and the Fire, I don't think feel that different to me, right? If they get really hot, they're going to be a tough out. And Dallas has some great wins. It's been a fun start to this WNBA season.
Yeah.
I'll just bring it up quickly, Gabe, because there's 2 picks I like in it. They're a little bit later, but I'll mention them quickly here. I like Olivia Miles under 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Up against the Dream, that's a really tough matchup for a rookie. Only in her 7th WNBA game. She's not been going over that number with any regularity. I think it's a bit too high. And then I took Kiki Arifan for a double-double. Up against the Seattle Storm at -107. Kiki's actually now, after getting a double-double in each of her first 3 games, missed that in 2 consecutive, once on points, once on rebounds. I think Kiki's due for more of a 16-12 type of game here tonight, Gabe, against the Storm.
We took Kiki Rice over tonight. It was 12.5. We talked about on top of the program. It came down to 11.5. And listen, Chicago are a good defensive team in the WNBA, but Kiki Rice, Kevin, and all right, she's played 10 minutes, she got 4 points. She's kind of become she's kind of the most consistent player on the team suddenly, right? Marina Mabry's all over the place. Marina goes 0 for 7 from 3, 0 for 8 from 3. She might hit a bunch. And tonight it looks like it's a hot Marina. She's 2 for 3 from 3 already. She got 8 points. Brittany Sykes has slowed down a little bit, but she's got 8 points already. But Kiki's just sort of, like during the losses, she still brings it. You know what I'm saying? She's playing more and more, and she doesn't tap out as these games goes on. She's a very smart player. I like her to, I like to start here with Ford. I like the fact that the Tempo already have 38 points, actually. So they're up 38-27. So quick tempo, literally and figuratively going on there. And in the hockey game, Kevin.
Yeah, what are you seeing here, Gabe?
It's overblown. Well, we lose the first 10 minutes. No goal yet in the first 10 minutes. You can still get a 5.5 at -180 right now. But it's a little overblown all the time. You can't just simplify things. Like, total shots on goal, Kevin, it's almost like, the argument, well, look how many total yards the team had. It's like, yeah, whatever, dude. You were losing. And, like, you threw for a bunch of garbage yards. Like, a lot of stats can get twisted, right? But at the same point in time, the Canes have one shot on goal, Kevin, through 10 minutes. And it's not even a real shot on goal. The puck kind of hit the side of the net. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, how are you going to win? It's like the episode of The Simpsons, like Boxcar Willie, where, like, Homer just gets beat up all the time, and then, like, the other guy just tires himself out. Like, it's like the rope-a-dope. Like, the Canadians' literal strategy. It's like, yeah, we got him right where we want him, guys. We're being outshot 11-1. Let's go. Yeah. You know what I mean? 0-0. Yeah. But at the same time, it's frustrating for a team like Carolina because you're like, son of a bitch. We're all over these guys, and it's always tied. You know what I mean? It's like if the Canadians could just score, and they could really frustrate Carolina with this. But you got to shoot to score.
Yeah, look, I really appreciate prefacing with like, everybody overrates shots on net and all that. But this is a disgrace, and this is a bad, like, it kind of like, Gabe's not someone who simply just looks at the shots and then determines who's playing better. But I also think it's a continued rhythm of this series so far. Like, to some degree, Gabe, this series looks the way you always told us it would. Like, Montreal has been very competitive on the scoreline and could very easily be up 2-1 in this series. Very, very easily.
You could have made the argument for the Philadelphia Flyers, the same thing. You could have said the same thing for the Ottawa Senators, Kevin. This is what the Canes do. They don't blow you out. They just sort of suffocate you. They're like you know what I mean? They're like one of those snakes. They wrap themselves around you, and you're like, by the end of it, you can't breathe.
Has Carolina lost an overtime game yet in this postseason? No, they've not. See,
no.
I got to, and listen, I'm trying not to.
I think they're 5-0 actually now. 5-0.
They are
off the top of my head.
Gabe,
5-0.
That, and again, I don't want to be dismissive to
That's
Montreal.
Like the one-run game stuff, though, Kevin, in baseball, right? It's just sort of you're right there, but you're not. You know what I mean?
But it does bounce back eventually,
Montreal
right?
on the power play right now. Montreal on the power play. This is their opportunity. See if they can bury this. They are good at scoring on limited opportunities. We'll give them credit for that. So if like put it this way, they got one shot right now. If they could get like 3 or 4 shots on this power play, I bet you they score. They need to shoot, though. Like, they can't. And the thing is, it's not just they don't shoot. It's Carolina, guys, is damn good at not giving up shots on goal. Like, it's not by
minus
just,
165 for there to be a goal in this period live. Minus 160 now for there to be a goal in this period.
Still 9.5 minutes left.
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. Let's talk about Ohtani on the mound tonight as a huge favorite.
Best player ever.
All right, we have a few important things to get to. Quick one, the Liberty just over the last 5 minutes of the third quarter went on a 23-0 run. That is still going on against the Mercury.
We were ripping them. As we were ripping them.
Yeah. Yep. So there's that.
That's
okay.
What it took.
That's
took
one
negative
piece of
energy.
business. Piece of business too, Gabe. Second consecutive power play, you're telling me here for Montreal?
Second consecutive power play. The Canadians really did nothing. They got one shot on goal on their last power play. And as positive as the Canadian fans have been, they're finally starting to get restless. There was some boos as the Canadians were passing the puck around and just not being aggressive enough on the power play. And
love that.
It's unbelievable. The Canadians' power play at home is scored like 18% of the time, like on the road, like 29% of the time. Like they're just a completely different team at home. Like I don't know what it is, man. Like they get overwhelmed by the pressure, the crowd, whatever it is. They've got to find a way. And Carolina are just jamming this thing up here right now. But yeah, they just got pretty soft call too. So Montreal have gotten basically 4 straight minutes here, guys, of power plays. They've wasted 3 of them. There's already a minute gone in this one. Scoreless game, 6 minutes left, Kevin, and that whole over 1.5 thing in the first period with the Canadians, which was 15-2 coming into tonight, is in peril right now.
Yeah, plus 120 for there to be a goal in the period.
Wow.
Much less 2 goals. If for there to be 2 goals is 6-1, Gabe. For there to be a flurry.
Canadians don't have any shots. I mean, like they.
Yes, and they're the ones on the power play. So
that's why. Full
that's
disclosure,
not
I
great.
clicked under 5.5 twice in the last couple of minutes before it went to 4.5. I'm like, well, there's no shots. I mean, it's not going to be goals here. But
so Gabe,
down to 4.5 now.
Let me bring up the Ohtani start. There were a few items to mention. The first one, though, is the price. It's the biggest number we've seen this season. I almost...
For any game or for him? Is this the biggest line of the season?
I believe it's the biggest line of the season. I think there was a Pirates... I think on the same day we had like a Skeen start and a Yamamoto start that were like 300s.
Yeah,
I've got minus 420 on one book here, Gabe.
Wow.
I think other books are higher in terms of the number.
At 385. I didn't bet the 385, but that's what it was.
Okay.
Like
What's
I bet
funny
the run
though,
line.
Gabe,
So I'm seeing 405 now.
Yeah.
Dear God. Wow.
Gabe, I'm seeing 440, 450 at some of these books here. Gosh, why do I keep doing this to myself? No one should be minus like 450 to win a baseball game. That's my only thing. Like, I think most people could agree with that. However, Gabe took a minus 385. I think
that's what it was when I bet. I bet it at I bet minus 1.5. So I bet the Dodgers. For the record, how I approached this game, I played the Dodgers to win. Dodgers to win the game. Same game parlay with Ohtani over 6.5 strikeouts.
Yep.
And it's actually like minus 114. So I was just kind of surprised by the odds. So I clicked it. And we also played the Dodgers money line with the Portland Fire to win tonight in the WNBA. Same thing, was like minus 126. And we played the Dodgers at minus 155, minus 1.5.
Yeah. But again, like some of those are really like good numbers. And I think one of the things that really jacks up the Dodgers money line price is how many people are just going to look to tack it onto parlays, right? How many people, whether they went Carolina and the Dodgers, a couple of these W teams like Gabe did, maybe some people are getting out in front of it. Like I know Gabe does, right? Spurs, Dodgers,
Seguno does himself,
SGA for 25. No, so Gabe,
that's the thing.
I took under 8. I'm a little surprised this is 8. And I did the quick math on it because you talked about the lack of Ohtani run support. 8 starts this season. The game has gone over 7 runs once. The average runs scored, less than 5 total. 4.9 if you round up. But guys, like 4.9 is the average. Gabe, these games are all 2-1, 3-0. Like, I know this will sound ridiculous, but I just mess around, Gabe. Gabe, the Rockies plus 3.5. Dodgers money line is plus 109. It's not a terrible bet. It's not.
If you look, guys, in Ohtani starts, the Dodgers have scored 4 runs, 3 runs, 8 runs, 0 runs, 1 run, 1 run, 4 and 4. So the last 2 starts, Kevin, they've actually given them a little bit of support. But 4 runs, that's like the extent to breakout. It's like, we gave it 4. Like in one game once where we scored 8, but yeah, they don't score for them. I think, maybe, and like I said, people don't really know much about Colorado's pitcher, but he is good. Although Ohtani has like raked him in the 6 at-bats. He's like 4 for 6 against them. The Dodgers hit this dude earlier in the season pretty hard, but he is a pretty good pitcher.
Is Ohtani going to hit tonight, though, Gabe? Probably not, based on what the season's been.
No, that was to be determined, actually, and I'm glad you bring this up because the Dodgers release lineups pretty early, actually. Let me get their lineup.
I actually don't see it. Maybe you'll have it, but I don't actually see the Dodgers lineup out right now where I usually look. Which is interesting, Gabe. It makes you think that they're trying to maybe figure out Ohtani, right?
Yeah, because you're right. Normally, the Dodgers release, if you'll notice, Kevin, a lot earlier than other teams do. They don't play that last second. Yeah, they'll release it in the afternoon, type thing. You'll see. Tonight's starting lineup.
They play last, and they'll have it up before a 6 o'clock game.
Yeah, exactly. So as you stated, the fact that they really don't, there's nowhere. Dodgers Nation, Dodgers website, Dodgers this, Dodgers that. No one has it. Yeah. Tells me he's not hitting.
Gabe, I almost was wondering if it means he might hit. Because
Carolina scores, Kevin. You knew it was coming.
Oh.
Carolina scores on their 8th shot. 1-0.
How about over half a goal, Gabe, in the first period?
Yeah.
It was plus money.
Yeah, there's still 5 minutes left. You talked about that. Both teams, 2 goals, plus 600 a couple of minutes ago. Now there's 5 minutes left, bro, and could easily be another goal here.
Let me see what that updated number would be. So now that's down to plus 160, Gabe. So it gives you a little opportunity.
Teams have scored first in every game.
Yeah. All right, we're about to get out of here on In Game Live. Great to have everybody with us for another edition on a Wednesday night. I did want to sneak this in quickly, Gabe, just because it's of the later start time, not to put you on the spot, but do you have an idea of or a lean for tomorrow's Game 6 between the Spurs and the Thunder? Because this is series you've been willing to zigzag with.
I saw this coming.
Oh, no.
Carolina take a 2-0 lead.
Oh, 6-1.
Plus 600 cashes. Man.
Why didn't we take it?
I knew there was going to be a late goal. I had the same thing. I knew there would be late goals.
You know why, Kevin?
Because I bet the first 10 minutes, I just sort of knew, right after 10-minute mark, it'll start to happen. You know what I mean? It'll be goals. They're like, Carolina scores again. One of these fluky goals, whatever, totally like off the skate. Didn't even shoot it. Like, they flicked it in front of the net. Let's see. And did it hit a stick or a skate? Whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. But Carolina shoots the puck at the net and good things happen. Montreal don't, and nothing happens. 2-0, 10-2 shots on goal.
So here's the funny
game total 6.5.
Yeah, tempting probably, right? It doesn't. I mean, unless this is just going to be an onslaught, but it's a little bit tempting to play that under. I'm sure you're taking a look at it. I'll give Chris credit. Kofsky, Gabe, did give out that first period over. Never in doubt.
A little bit of a sweat job, but it hits.
If I know Chris, nobody's angrier than Chris because he hit a -108 instead of a 6-1. Like, if I know Chris, he's in a terrible mood that he could have got
really
plus
helping
600
him now by bringing
it
it up over and over. You know, it was plus 600 when it happened.
I'm doing my
job. Like when you brought it up, I was like, it actually crossed my mind.
I saw your eyes get wide.
Yeah,
you were like,
I was like, yeah.
Sometimes, here's the truth. Sometimes doing our job costs us money because sometimes we need to put our head down and just start betting.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. You got to think on the fly, Kevin. Something. You know what it's like when you're doing this, right? You're on the air, you're betting, you're like, do I really want to do this? Like, all right, you just got to start thinking. I'll tell you, Carolina nearly just scored again, too. Like, this thing is not good for Montreal right now. Carolina, and just for the record, if anyone's thinking, all right, and we do see 2-goal leads blown in the NHL all the time, plus 475, or now plus 500 on the money line. And I think Montreal's about to score right here. They're about to score. No, Carolina, no way.
It's 22-1.
2-on-1.
Gabe. It was 22-1.
Montreal nearly scores. Montreal nearly scores, and then Carolina scores again.
Oh, God. Gabe, I looked at it. I didn't think it was worth saying on air. It was 22-1. It was 22-1. We're sitting here. Well, I got people.
It's just one after another. You know what, Kevin? I swear to God, the sports books are always like a second ahead, and my TV's pretty ahead too. Yeah. The Canadians had like a 2-on-1. They literally look like, they're about to score.
Wow.
They're about to score. I see the sports book freeze, and I'm like, yeah, Montreal's about to score right now. They're right now. Boom. They don't. The puck bounces the other way, and Carolina scores like a second later.
Goodness me.
Carolina have scored 3 goals in 2 minutes and 47 seconds, Kevin. 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
Crazy.
It went from 0-0.
That is insane.
To 3-0. In-game total now 6.5. Over 6.5 minus 155.
I mean, you finally get a 2 shots on net for Montreal. And the result is 3 straight Carolina shots resulting in
you get 2 power plays, and you're down 3-0. This is disgraceful. This is rock bottom. They're a disgrace to the jersey. This is like terrible.
Bring that guy. Who is the guy who brought out the torch? Who's that? Bring that guy. Put him in there.
I told you. Hey, we didn't get into it live on the show, but I told you before. I wasn't happy, was I?
It was a bad omen. You said it.
I told McKinnis.
You said it.
McKinnis got all offended. I said, "What kind of joke is this?" I was like,
it was because he wore Blue Jays stuff. He wasn't even wearing the Montreal stuff. McKinnis. Yeah. He was phoning it in.
Yeah. He sounded like a defense attorney defending them the whole time after. All right, give me the Dodgers to win with Ohtani over 6.5 strikeouts. Now we need it. Give me the Dodgers to win with the Portland Fire. And money line and Dodgers minus 1.5.
Now we need it is the best. Under Olivia Miles, Kiki Irfan double under in the Dodger game. We'll see you tomorrow.
The UIM Formula One World Championship Series. We are over the moon excited about the upcoming season.
Let's go.
10,000 horsepower roars off the dock.
Oh my, there's a problem.
On the outside, side by side.
And he's lost control of the book.
Hopes and dreams of winning here.
Yes!
Get ready for round one, the Regione Sardegna Grand Prix of Italy, May 29th to 31st.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio.